Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is Trump, having to do with the dollar, Russia, and Israel. He does seem to be the guy that is ruling the planet right now. Everybody's looking to him. Everybody's listening to him. I want to believe that that's good, but today I'm going to talk about some things that, wouldn't be the first time you and I thought we were doing right, only to discover later, boy, I wish I hadn't done that. And that's going to be true with Trump. I mean, he's not Jesus. I think he's honestly trying to do the right thing. But you and I have honestly tried to do the right thing, and it blew up in our face. I'm going to talk about that today. All right. Now, this is my summary. At first, Trump gave Russia 50 days to stop the Russia-Ukraine war. Yesterday, however, in my opinion, he made two big mistakes. One, a diplomat should never negotiate in public. I think it's even Russia that says we don't negotiate in public, and the negotiation should be done in private, and then we bring it out to the public when it's all negotiated, and I agree with that. Anyway, a diplomat should never negotiate in public, and Trump did. They should not send messages through the media concerning offerings, especially threats, and Trump did. That is exactly what Trump did, and in my opinion, that's wrong. And as Michael Snyder was warned here back in February, that we should be praying that Trump does not use his usual high pressure, twisting the arm, intimidating, negotiating tactics on Russia, because he was told it was going to backfire. Remember that? Okay. And the voice was screaming at him several times. So, all right, let's look up. Excuse me. What does it mean, backfire? So, the actual definition is to undergo a mistimed explosion in the cylinder or exhaust, but that's not the definition we're looking for. Or to rebound adversely on the originator. In other words, to have, here it is, the opposite effect to what was intended. So, what's Trump trying to do? He's trying to bring peace between Russia and Ukraine. He's trying to do that in a way so the people don't get killed. And, of course, he's always looking to make money. So if we go back to backfire, what would the opposite of that be? Trump is threatening to place 100% sanctions on not only Russia, but 100% sanctions on any nation purchasing oil from Russia if the Russia-Ukraine war is not stopped within 50 days. Then, yesterday on television from Scotland, Trump said he's going to reduce the time from 50 days down to 10 to 12 days. Big mistake. You've heard, I think it's The Art of War says, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Our enemy, the enemy that Dmitry Dudin was told, and Revelation 18 says, is going to destroy America in 1 hour is Russia. If there is a nation we need to stay on the good side of and become friends with, it would be Russia. And I wish I had a hotline to Trump. I'd tell him, no. You go make friends with the Russians. You walk away. My opinion, I think he should just walk away from Ukraine. Don't send him a dime, not a bit of help. And instead, he needs to go and sit down with Putin and say, okay, talk to me. Tell me what you're thinking on this. And then he needs to listen as Putin says, wait a minute, you remember Reagan said, Gorbachev, tear down this wall. And the agreement that got them to tear down that wall is the West said that they would not go 1 inch further to the east or toward Russia if they would tear down the wall. So Russia gave up territory that they fair and square won in World War II, and they gave back half of Germany, basically, but definitely half of Berlin, and moved some 300,000 people, the Russians, out of there. It was a very, very big step. And Reagan did us a really big favor. And also Germany did a big favor. But there's been other agreements that our past leaders, our past presidents, have violated. My opinion, I think Trump should go over there and sit down and say, okay, talk to me. What's going on? I think what he would hear is Russia would say, well, we were against the Nazis in World War II. You were too. Well, the difference is we're still against the Nazis, and you changed. So, what was Russia's response? As I expected, Russia is not going to bow the knee, like, for example, Japan and even EU and Britain and many of the nations are bending the knee to Trump and doing what he wants to do. Here's what Dmitry Medvedev, this is the official spokesman for Russia. Trump's playing the ultimatum game with Russia, 50 days or 10. He should remember two things. Russia isn't Israel or even Iran. Each new ultimatum is a threat. That's the way Russia's taking it, a threat, and a steps towards war. What war? Well, it's not between Russia and Ukraine, but with America, is what he's saying. He's saying, don't go down the Sleepy Joe road. What he's saying is, don't make the Russian bear angry. Because you recall, Dmitry was shown the Russian bear, when he goes to war, it's like men with sticks fighting against the giant bear. In other words, the Russian bear will run over NATO, America, what's left of it after we're taken out, and Russian bear becomes the leader of the world. In other words, the Russian bear is the very nation we should not be angering. And that's exactly what Trump is doing. Trump, give me a call. I'll set you straight on this. Or watch some of our program. Somebody get this to Trump. He needs to know what the prophets are saying. Not what I'm saying, what the prophets are saying. So what is Trump threatening? Okay, he's threatening dollars. Finances. Trump is threatening to hit Russia in their pocketbook by the use of tariffs. The prophetic warning given to Michael Snyder warned Trump's tactics would, quote, backfire, meaning what Trump intended to do to Russia, hit her financially, is what Russia is about to do to America. What's it talking about? Well, question. Who is the nation who is in the process and almost completed forming the new BRICS currency to go around the dollar? The answer is Russia. Who is it that controls, they used to be number 2 in the world with oil? They got a lot of oil. My best guess is Russia will not bend the knee to Trump and will start the BRICS currency. So what does that mean? Okay, this is important. So are we soon to see Russia attack back with new BRICS currency going around the dollar? Yes. Could that be the backfire? Yes. See, Trump was trying to hit Russia in their pocketbook, but it backfires. So what does that backfire mean? Now that means that Russia is going to hit America in our pocketbook. Trump intended for the dollar to hurt Russia, but if it backfires, Russia will actually hurt the dollar. So do we have any prophecies saying that the dollar is going to be hurt? Yes, we do. Coverstone, prepare for hyperinflation, no change available. Change is in coins. Dave's, the U.S. dollar is worthless. Warren, it's raining dollar bills. They're worthless as leaves blowing in the wind. Turner, dollars going away. A cashless system of digital numbers is coming in as the new exchange, which, by the way, see that thing behind me? I put that up again today because I recommend that you go there. And if you want to not lose your wealth, obviously you put that in gold or silver. But according to what Jonathan Rose said, if you want to make money, in his opinion, the best place to put it, and I'm not giving financial advice, perhaps he can, but I'm just quoting him. He said the best place to put it is crypto, and if you call that up there, prophecyclubcrypto.com. Actually, if you go there, prophecyclubcrypto.com, fill out the little thing, they call you right back, and they'll answer your questions, help you decide what is best for you about possibly getting some cryptocurrency. And in my opinion, and I think you know it too, we are going digital so that nobody might buy or sell, save he had the mark in the name of the beast or the number of his name. So we are going digital. 2, that digital must be some kind of a cryptocurrency. So since we prophecy students know the things that are coming, that tells us what? A very good place to invest in when you want to make money, not preserve it, make money is crypto. And you go there by prophecyclubcrypto.com. Yeah, in other words, this is an investment to make money. Okay, let's go on. Now let's talk about Trump and Russia. Article says Trump imposes 25% tariff and additional penalties on India for purchasing Russian oil military equipment. Now, we did just buddy up with India, and they've reduced just about all of the tariffs. Now Trump is coming along, and I think, again, he intends good, but this is part of what could blow up in our face because India is the I in BRICS. BRICS, it's India. So what we could be doing, thinking that we're doing good, trying to get peace between Russia and Ukraine, could actually be forcing Russia, Ukraine, India, the rest of the BRICS countries, which now I understand there's some 27 out of the 200 countries, that could very well go to the new BRICS currency. Hang on. Let's read this. I've got more to say. So President Trump has announced that the U.S. will impose a 25% blanket tariff on India, with further tariff increases imminent due to the nation's decision to purchase Russian oil. Well, if you're the only game in town, the dollar, then you can do that. But if you've got another currency, BRICS, ready to go, then India might just say, okay, well, we will just not trade with America. We'll just start trading with Russia. We'll just start using the BRICS currency. In other words, what Trump means for good could be exploding in our face. It could be that very thing that raises the BRICS currency. That very thing that causes the nations like India, Russia, the other 27 nations to say, hey, we're trading by BRICS. What do we do with all these dollars? We don't need all these dollars. So they start dumping dollars, and the value of the dollar goes down a third, worthless as leaves blowing in the wind. Why? Because they go to a new crypto, a new digital currency. There you go. prophecyclubcrypto.com. Hope you got it. So it goes on to say, he's calling out the nation's decision to purchase Russian oil and military equipment. Trump is still working to persuade Russia, especially President Vladimir Putin, to end the ongoing conflict between Moscow and Ukraine. There's more. Trump to India, choose between Russian oil and U.S. markets. Now, if you're the only game in town, if you really do rule the world, then of course India's going to say, well, we will stay with America. But since they've already got the BRICS currency ready to go, and India has pretty much not been trading with America anyway, they just say, okay, fine. We'll go with Russia. We'll go with BRICS. That's what prophecy seems to be saying is coming. Most overlooked is its strategic importance in cutting off energy sales to Russia in the commitment to buy $750 billion in LNG. Okay. So now what Trump would do is cause India to stop buying Russia oil, and he's also already caused the EU to stop buying Russian oil. So Russia, the guy that's started the whole BRICS currency thing, might just say, okay, go ahead, we'll just go with the BRICS. We don't need the American dollar anymore. And the American dollar falls just like the prophecies say. Dmitry Medvedev did not, however, complaining that it was anti-Russian and an escalation in tensions between the U.S. and Russia. That's the second time he has hinted at war between America and Russia. Now, war between America and Russia doesn't always necessarily at this point mean nuclear weapons, but we're walking that direction. There's more. Trump reduces Russia-Ukraine deadline to 10 to 12 days. We all know about this now. Okay, so here he is talking, and all of a sudden he just out of his mouth blurts out, I think I'm going to reduce the 50 days down to 10 to 12 days. That's negotiating. That's a big problem. My point. So Trump threatens Russia. You have 10 days to stop the war. No. Okay, well, how about 100% tariffs on Russian oil then? So Russia and all of their buddies just switched to BRICS. All 26 BRICS nations then switch from the dollar over to BRICS, begin to sell dollars. The value of the dollar drops one third, zero. Then all of a sudden we see people protesting, give us our entitlements, massive anger and protests. Inflation goes up, and all of the prophecies we've been talking about the dollar falling, all of a sudden, in other words, this might not be happening in 50 days. This might be happening in 10 days, or now 9 days, which is another reason. If you don't want to lose your money, 800, 200 gold, especially if you have an IRA or 401k. But if you want help with crypto, then it's prophecyclubcrypto.com, prophecyclubcrypto.com, back behind me. Give them a call. Give them a call and say, okay, so you have a way to reduce the risk and a way where I might be able to make money. And my guess is there's going to be some of you that will switch your gold and silver into crypto. Some of you that have a 401k, IRA, will maybe put some of it in crypto. Just guessing, and I'm not giving financial advice. All right, now, for the time remaining, let's talk about Israel and the Palestinian state. The article goes on to say Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and now also Britain is calling for Hamas to disarm, leave Gaza in a two-state solution, is what it's saying, or Palestinian state. Hamas will disarm and end its rule over Gaza. A 7-page text agreed to brings a two-state solution for Israel and the Palestinians. Hamas must end its rule. Well, here's the problem. What's the difference between Hamas and the Palestinians? There isn't any difference. They all worship the same God. They all worship the same book. The only difference is how they act. Okay, so it's all the same religion. It's all the same bloodline. It's the same bloodline that's been attacking Israel since before David and Goliath. Okay, on to the next one. Trump rejects Macron's move. U.S. skips a UN summit on Palestinian state. So Macron pops up of France and says he's going to recognize the Palestinian state. And he calls a meeting, but Trump is saying, that's what it says here, that he is not going to be attending. Well, good for Trump. This one is really important too. Netanyahu proposes to annex parts of Gaza. It goes on to say that Israel wants to end this, but then they want to make Gaza, now it starts with parts of Gaza, but other articles have talked about just totally making Gaza part of Israel. Well, that's kind of what Israel is saying. Let's turn it into a Middle East Riviera, and America will be in charge. And we will move out the people that are in Gaza and find good homes for them in other nations. My opinion, that's the best solution. Just do not give the Palestinians a state. Do not split Israel, or God will split America. That's my point. My point is, I think Trump, matter of fact, what I'm praying is that Trump will either drop the whole 10 to 12 day ultimatum to Russia, turn around and listen to Russia, go meet Vladimir Putin and sit down and listen to him and make friends with Russia and walk away from the Nazi-controlled Ukraine. Again, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. I think that we're on the precipice of a golden era. These tariff things that Trump is doing, is straightening out a lot of our finances, I think could be really, really, really good. But if Trump makes a mistake, I think we just got a shot across the bow yesterday with this big earthquake that hit just off the coast, 85 miles off the coast of Russia. Try to imagine an earthquake 10 times bigger than that, all up and down the Madrid Fault, opening the Great Lakes up all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. So this is probably a shot across the bow. God is saying, don't split my land. I am capable of destroying your nation in one instant. I'm capable of splitting you in two. So make Russia, or Trump, I'm going to say, you should make friends with Russia. You should stay friends with Israel. You should move the people out of Gaza, hopefully in a kind, friendly way. turn all of Gaza back to Israel, and then Israel will start, they will come out with the red heifer, they will start animal sacrifice, and by that time, shortly after that, we will be in the tribulation if we're not already, and all of a sudden the Antichrist shows up, sits on the Ark of the Covenant. I mean, we could be really, really close to all that stuff happening. So, let me summarize. I don't think everything is hunky-dory like we used to say when I was a kid. I don't think everything Trump is doing is fixing everything. I think he wants to, but I also think that America has a lot of sins on her. And she saith in her heart, Revelation 18, she saith in her heart, I said a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine. And she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. So you can choose to listen to the newspapers that says we're coming into a golden era, and I hope we are, at least for a little bit. Or you can choose to believe God, and you'll be able to see that God is leading us into some judgment. I'm inviting you. I want you to come. I don't know another way to say it, but I want to meet you. I want to shake your hand. I want to hug your neck. I want to get to know some of these people that listen to Prophecy Club. So I'm asking you. I'm not just inviting you. I'm asking you to come. Yes, I know it may mean an air flight, a hotel, a couple of hotels. It may mean $200, $500,000, depends on where you stay. But I want you to come to this. I'm asking you. I'm not just inviting you. I'm asking you to come. Come, introduce yourself to me. Many of you, I will recognize your name. Many of you have been following us for a long time. I'd like to meet you. Okay, so come to the Prophecy, Healing, and Deliverance Conference, September 11 to 14. Now, it's 6 seasoned ministers. We're going to be delivering 10 different talks over 2.5 days. Now, you can see the topics below, but today I'm going to just briefly touch on a couple of them. One is I've changed some of the things I'm talking on. Yes, I'm talking on the mark of the beast. Yes, I'm going to bring you some new insight. But I'm also, here's what happened this past Sunday. I brought a talk that I thought would be over most people's head. I was talking about secrets in ancient Hebrew, and I was shocked. Our congregation absolutely loved it. I had, I don't know, 5 or 6 people come up to me and say how great it was. I've had at least 2 or 3 people ask me for copies of the PowerPoint, so I'm going to expand on that. There are some big secrets within ancient letter level Hebrew, and you probably have never heard this before. I'm also going to be talking about my new book that hopefully will be coming out by the time we have this meeting. I'll hopefully have it there. And it's called The Pentecost Rapture of the Bride. I think God showed me a revelation. I mean, I've been I was pre-trib till 1999. Then I went total hard post-trib until he gave me a revelation. And it totally changed my perspective on the rapture. And I'm going to explain that at this meeting. Now, that's what I'm going to talk on. Let me briefly explain what Leslie's going to talk on. You can pause and read all of the topics, but basically, God told her she was an apostle recently, and the congregation all agreed. We bumped her up to apostle. And she's going to explain the role of a prophet, all of the things below, and I'm going to talk about it more in other programs that we'll have her on. But again, I'm asking you to come. I'm asking you to go to prophecyclub.com, right there, prophecyclub.com. Sign up to come. Sign up. I'd like to meet you, hug your neck, shake your hand, sign one of the books. If you have one of my books, or Leslie, sign one of her books. We're going to have them there. It's going to be, a time where you learn some things, but how about just a time of fellowship? How about a time where you get to meet me and Leslie, and we'll meet you, and we'll spend some good time together. We'll eat together. We'll have some fellowship together. So come to the Prophecy, Healing, Deliverance Conference. If you don't want to lose your life's savings, if you have an IRA or a 401k, the thing to do is call 800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. These folks are Christians, and they specialize in helping people not lose their life savings in the event of a stock market crash and things like that. Look, most of the 401ks, most of the IRAs are in paper, backed by paper, and as Lindsey Williams says, if it's in paper, it's worth the paper it's written on. You can lose it all. 1-800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. Hey, give them a call. Doesn't hurt, doesn't cost you anything. See if they can give you some good advice. In 2021, I started making bread. And long story short is I believe God showed me that wheat is God's famine food, just like it was famine food back in the 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine, days of Pharaoh and Joseph. And I believe that that's what God has planned to feed his people. And you get it by going to josephskitchen.com. 3 steps. First, you want to get a machine package. Second, you want to order 6 ingredients and watch some videos, download the recipes to be able to make the bread. josephskitchen.com. Most of your long-time storage food, emergency food, all of that, typically are talking $9,000, $10,000 to feed one person for a year. Joseph Kitchen can show you how to do it for around $1,000 a person, and your kids will actually eat it, and it's actually good for you. Here's some bread that I made. In my case, I lost weight, lowered my blood pressure, gives me more energy. I eat a morning, slice in the morning, slice in the afternoon. Always a slice before I go play racquetball. Go check it out, josephskitchen.com. When the suitcase nukes, I didn't say if, I said when the suitcase nukes go off, if you want your car to start, if you want your computers and your refrigerators and things like that, anything with a computer chip to work, you want to have one of these. From EMPShield.com. EMPShield.com. And they have videos up there. It takes about 10 minutes to put on. It's not complicated at all. And if you use the word prophecy, promo code prophecy, you get a $50 discount, and it helps your Prophecy Club. Now, if you've been with Prophecy Club for a while, you know that these used to be an organization that we sponsored. Then Joseph Kitchen came along, so we dropped this one. But there's been a need to bring this one back. So what's the difference? This is wheat berries that you grind up and make your own homemade whole wheat bread. This is food that comes in a bucket. You just add water. Some of them you have to add boiling water, and you make your own food. So there's different kinds of food. So if you want this kind of food, you go to heavensharvest.com, heavensharvest.com. Use the promo code prophecy, get you a 10% discount.